Hello, welcome to Eclecticka. Michael Seven Michael. We have Drew and we also have Charles. How you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
Good. And
So, everyone heard everything about Don't Breathe, and I just saw it and it was amazing. That was a very good choice, a good pick, Drew, that you did last week. You have any other movies for this week that you want people to check out?
yeah, I've been taking myself out on movie dates, I guess, the past couple weeks. I should probably just make that a regular thing. I saw Kubo, I think it's either of or and the Two Strings, Kubo of the Two Strings this
Mm-hmm.
weekend. That was the kids movie that one isn't paced like a kids movie at all, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's jumping back to the pacing thing as I've kind of found myself in a nice little, I guess, chain of watching movies that are just really well paced and well structured.
Mm-hmm.
Kubo is definitely entry in that chain. Again, for a kids movie, it doesn't start off like one at all. It's very slow. It's very gradual. You spend the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie just seeing like what Kubo, this little kid who lives with his mom in this high up mountain that's like overlooking the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
You just see what his life is like and what he does throughout each day. And as they do this, they sow little seeds of what become important and integral to the plot later on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really well done. Like the twist that wasn't really a twist because they kind of tell you early on in the movie what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It kicks in, and there are still, of course, people in the audience. Oh, that's what it was. It's like it's all there for you, and they present it in a really clean way. The animation was on point, like in this realm of and trend of where everything is just CG. We're just assailed with just computer generated imagery all the time.
Right.
It was, I believe, stop motion,
Okay.
which is not an easy process to do at all when it comes to filmmaking.
You know what?
It just
I
looked
didn't
really
know
clean.
that. From the,
Hmm?
I thought it was going to be animation. This is stop motion.
No, I think it
Wow.
has the same art style that I believe Coraline had, which I'd also think wasn't. I don't know if Coraline was CG.
Wow.
I don't think it was, but that was stop motion, and it was really well done. Like
That's no
really well
joke to
done.
do that, man. It takes a
Yeah.
long time.
Long
I
time.
love that style, and you
Me
don't
too.
really see it that often
Great.
at all.
Yeah, it's great. And it's like you think about how films like Jurassic Park or
Right.
like Aliens were made that were predominantly done, if not entirely, by, practical effects.
Right.
They still look good today. Like Jurassic Park still looks freaking phenomenal. If you have that in 4K, you can't tell if those things were like animatronics. Like they were real. They were like right freaking there. They terrified me as a kid because they looked real.
Yep.
So Aliens was the same thing. That movie scared the crap out of me because the freaking xenomorphs, like they look freaking real, man. So
It's funny you mentioned that. Aliens was on TV today, and I was just like, this is actually a really good movie.
it's still a good movie. Yeah, it stood the test of time, man.
Yeah.
And the practical effects, I feel, are a huge part of that. It just makes it immortal. Like The Thing
Mm-hmm.
from the 70s, those transformations like look so agonizingly painful for the creature that it's just like you see those scenes, and to this day I still cringe. I'm just like, good grief, man. Seeing the body contort and twist and melt and merge with things, it still looks great to this day.
Wow.
We got to bring that back. We can't lose
No,
that.
I think too, man. It's like I don't understand. Like I'm computer generation CGI sometimes, man. When it's bad, it's bad. You know,
Mhm.
it.
Remember the Scorpion King?
Oh my goodness, I would like to see.
Oh.
The Mummy 2?
You mean the
Oh.
movie we don't mention?
Oh, it was, it was,
That
bad.
was just terrible.
And I would like to see more sets, real sets.
Yeah.
Real
They
sets.
can be bad. They can totally work, man. I mean, look at Star Wars The Force Awakens. A
Right.
lot of it was more than I think we're willing to admit practical effects. And I believe that movie will look great 10, 15, 20 years from now. Still.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Everything doesn't have to be CGI, man.
not everything. At least don't oversaturate your film with it because
Yeah.
after a while it starts to look really like just sterile and just fake.
You know what movie was really good? I don't know what effects they used, but it was even hard to tell when the stuff even kicked in was District 9. Remember that movie?
That was
District
good.
9?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that freaking thing. Yeah, it was phenomenal, man.
I feel like those were kind of ahead of their time, man, because it's like they came right at a point where we were getting games like, oh my god, Charles, help me on this one. What's the similar theme game with aliens and stuff? Uh, you have like the gravity cannon. There's the guy that talks to you. He's in the suit. He's almost like the Men in Black archetypal guy.
I can't, dude. I played some.
That's gonna bug me until I remember. Everybody was on it.
I was gonna
It wasn't Fallout. It wasn't that one. It has the yellow logo. Anyway, I'll stop thinking about it and then hopefully I'll remember.
But yeah, I'm surprised they never did a sequel to District 9. I'm surprised they never did a sequel to that District 9 movie. That
It's
movie,
coming.
That was in the works, but I don't know
Yeah.
if it'll have the same weight now. See, if they
Right.
made it now, all after the fact,
they waited so long.
they waited too long.
Yeah, that movie was that was a sleeper hit right there.
Yep.
Since you referenced Star Wars, did you check out the C2B5? So in the new one, they're gonna have. I mean, again, you know, it's R2D2, but
Mhm.
you know, but whoops.
Are you talking about the all black one? I couldn't
Yeah,
He's in stealth mode.
He's like
Yeah.
has like a stealth mode or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. It might be cool. It might just be like them trying to be like, remember how we were talking about the stormtroopers?
right.
Why do we have like a jet black SWAT team looking sort? It might just be, let's just add a sleek, sexy looking R2D2 to the cast just for no
Yeah.
reason, guys. This will sell the cool toys.
Because
So
the BB-8, I think it worked, but I think it didn't work as well as they thought it was gonna pop off.
Mhm.
So you know, plus again, this Rogue, they got to go forward. So there was no BB-8 then. So
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
got to make it black.
which is kind of funny. Half-Life, guys. I'm sorry, not to interject. It was Half-Life. That one.
Oh, I remember Half-Life.
There we go. All right, moving on. You're saying, BB-8, I don't know. It's like BB-8 isn't advanced. He's just a little robot on a volleyball. So I feel like he was made on like a shoestring budget. Some broke dude made him just like his spare parts,
Right.
and he put him like a bunch of little. He stuffed him full of like extra little features, like Inspector Gadget. This way, he has the lighter that you can give people a thumbs up.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think this was like at a time where the Empire was like on an upswing when it came to technological advances because they're building the Death Star.
Right. Exactly.
They have the Death Stars in the works, coming
Right.
soon to jack your planet up.
Right.
Like it's coming, and they have all these different, resources. So it makes sense. I just want to see a little remember a little black thing that we don't know what purpose it serves when it's on the Imperial ships.
Right.
Oh, little thing, right?
Makes a little noise.
Yeah, little remote control.
Yeah, that one.
It was like a little 18 van running.
Yeah, I thought it was like, is that the garbage disposal? Does it pick up the trash as it goes on? What is that freaking thing? And it gets scared of Chewie.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, because all of us are writers on this show, I thought it was interesting that, we're seeing, and we talked about this part before, all the old brands, all the different logos, the trademarks, you're seeing them come out again. You're seeing all these remakes. What do you guys think of the thing that, well, let's sell them what we had before, but let's just change the costumes up? And we see that with the new Power Rangers. We'll just keep changing the suits. I mean, do you guys feel like...
Yeah, the thing about the Power Ranger suits is it doesn't look bad,
Right?
but I feel that if they are trying to, I guess, garner the audience of the people that watched the original one, like the Legacy Power Rangers,
Right.
I feel like they could have just kept more to the original design. Like, do you guys remember? I don't know if you guys are older than me, so you guys might have missed that whole thing when we were losing our minds over Power Rangers. But when the movie came out, I was blown away because they'd revamped the suits to where it looked like armor, but it still had the classic, designs where you had the diamond shape and then their respective dinosaur Zord symbol on it.
Mhm.
They could have just totally got those, reused those, and maybe added some stuff up to it to maybe look at give Charles what he wants and make him look nice and chunky, like all meaty, like Batman's suit, and then just roll it up.
I mean, I would even go back with the Iron Man. My favorite Iron Man suit, my favorite one is actually going back to the original comics when you can see the muscles and everything in it. Not so much the Transformer looking style suit, you know what I mean? It looked, to me, that was the best one. It was just slim, but it looked really good. You don't have to go too crazy with these big robot armor looking suits, man. There's I guess a time and place for everything.
My
Right.
favorite Iron Man costume is definitely the one
Yeah.
from the first film, the
Yeah.
Hot Rod Red.
Yeah, that was probably
That's easily my favorite one. And then the Hulkbuster armor was cool too.
yeah. Well, yeah, you needed that big bulky thing to
You
fight
need the
the.
big you need the big boy to throw down with the Hulk.
But I
So
would
a
definitely
new
like to see.
R2D2, a new Superman suit, a new Batman suit. I think they're spending too much time on the new outfits and
And
seeing
not enough on their scripts,
exactly.
Yep.
which
I'm just saying.
not all the time. Let's make this look real plush and clean. I admittedly, looking at it again too, I don't like the new Batman suit that they're using for Justice League, the all black one.
Yeah.
Keep the classic gray, dude. Gray and black look
That's all
great.
you need.
He's the best part of Batman versus Superman. Keep him with the gray. Why does he gotta have the black thing on?
Right.
And then Superman's gonna come back with a black suit for some reason because he's gonna be
man.
all dark and brooding, I guess, again, right?
And a
I
mullet.
died.
They got
The
they
other
got to
side.
keep true to the comic, man. And he had to come back with a mullet too.
He
Remember?
came back with the long rock star
Yeah.
mullet. I'm just like,
Oh
yo,
man.
my dude's just in time for the '90s. Like, it just,
Up front, and the party going on in the back.
Oh man.
yeah.
Well, he was raised in the Midwest, right?
Yeah, in Kansas.
So come on. That's right. How come Superman doesn't listen to any music?
He does listen to music. He just is.
Yeah.
See, this is like the problem with Superman. We can't really talk about what he's like as a person because it's just insert good
Oh
here.
man. I
Insert
know.
what a nice guy would do here. That's where, excellent segue.
Right.
Jumping to the Telltale Games Batman game, right?
Okay.
I got into an interesting conversation with a friend about this because the first episode came out, I want to say like a month or two ago. The next one is due for September 29th or 30th. That's when we get this second episode. They release them periodically. Playing the first episode of that one myself, I thought it was great. It's very story oriented. It's very choice oriented. It's very choice centered. So it's like kind of like in Mass Effect when you're having a conversation with someone, you choose the response that you want to give, and based on the selection that you make, affects what happens later on in the game. Okay. This is a perfect freaking vehicle for Batman to use because Batman isn't just one guy, he's two.
Right.
He's a tortured kid who lost his parents, but he's also a superhero. Which one is the actual face? You could make debates for both.
Right.
But what makes him interesting is the fact that he can give certain responses to people that can cater to either his Batman nature or his Bruce Wayne nature, the facade that is Bruce Wayne, rather.
Right.
A friend of mine got pissed and he was like, why does Batman have to get a Telltale game? How come Superman can't get a game like that? X, Y, and Z. I'm like, you want to know why Superman can't get a Telltale game that's based on decisions? Because a game that features Superman in that type of setting, it would be Superman's having a conversation. Here are your options. Do the right thing. Option B, do the right thing. Option C, do the right thing. Option D, be Jesus. So it's like,
Hey, if you ever notice, Superman games don't work.
they
You ever
don't
notice that?
work.
They don't
He's
work,
such-
man.
He's just
Superman
such
games never
a
work.
yeah, he's just such a fuddy-duddy,
Right.
do-well Boy Scout. He's not interesting, and I know that sounds like overly critical, like I'm just being like a dick.
Yeah.
But I don't find him interesting as a person. He's not interesting. I'm sad because I lost all my people when I was a baby, and I got raised by these really awesome farmer people that taught me the difference between right and wrong. But I'm all alone. I'm so sad. I'm a 6'4", super good-looking guy that has every power on Earth and can make up powers on the fly. But I'm sad. Shut up, Clark. Shut up, Clark. No one. That's what I know. That's why I love when he clowns his ass, dude. Shut up, Clark. Like, just be. Nobody's trying to hear that crap. Be quiet. You and your pseudo problems. Get the fuck out of here.
Tell us why you mad, Drew.
I feel
Yeah, it's just no. That's the
How
problem
you
with.
really
I want
feel?
to like Soups as a character, but he's just.
And
He's not interesting. We can't even sit here and have a conversation on what he would be like because we know what he's like. He's gonna do the right thing.
Actually, it's very interesting. There's only two levels to Superman. There's do the right thing, do the right do, or fight.
Well, you know,
Well,
yes and no.
There's no complexity with him.
One thing I did like
With
and it-
Batman, he has more complexity. That's a good thing. That's
they
a
did
good,
it.
a good thing you brought up.
The
I'm
red
sorry.
when he gets the red kryptonite. You know how he turns
Are you doing
back.
Smallville?
Yeah, I kind of like.
becomes
Yeah,
When he
I
becomes
kinda
a
give him
straight
slight-
douchebag? Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
That was some of the funnest Superman stuff I've ever seen in my life. When he goes into the bar and he acts a fool in the club. Oh,
Yeah.
See, that was good, but it required get what. But see, the thing about that is though, Charles, the problem with that, it was an outside element that was required to give Superman more layers and make him seem interesting.
That's what they had to
It
do.
requires a red gem to show a different aspect of his personality. And Smallville for the first 4 seasons was great. Don't get me
It
wrong.
was
I
good.
love that
It
show.
was. I enjoyed it. Then it just got to the point where the wheels
Very
fell off of it.
ridiculous. It got ridiculous. They learned that they weren't going to let Tom Welling wear that suit, and it's just like, all right, well, we're just going to do whatever we want then.
Wow.
So
Yeah, they wouldn't let him fly. And they just you can't. Yeah, just certain things that made it was
should
like like the Flash character. All he did was run real fast everywhere and jump
in
real
the
high.
90s one? Yeah. But see, the Flash television show, though, they added so much more to that. That's why I love that show. They've added a lot more.
Flash is much better. It's much better.
Yeah.
No, what I was saying was in Smallville, his powers are like the Flash. All he would do was run fast everywhere. He wasn't like Superman, really.
Yeah. But what I thought was cool about that is how they balanced that when they did eventually introduce the Flash into that show. He was like the little pickpocket thief. That was a great episode.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was in there.
He was in the show, and there was talks for a minute where they would introduce this young, kind of like wandering dude, this young teenager who's around Clark's age, who'd be like dark hair, brooding, and stuff like that. Really, really skilled in hand-to-hand combat, deduction, and stuff like that.
Like a Batman type character.
You come to find out that he was actually Bruce Wayne. I'm like, that would have been so good, but I don't think it ever happened.
Never did.
Since you're talking about a little bit of TV land, what is your prediction for the future of Arrow? I think this might be the last season.
It could be. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. This last season had a hell of a lot of problems.
Right.
I can't really. I'm trying to think of the rogues gallery. Who does Arrow really have that they could play with? But the thing about it is Arrow, they try to mix and match Batman characters in with his rogues gallery. So it's not even really just Arrow anymore. It's DC Universe.
Right. Spin-off show.
Under the gaze of the Green Arrow.
Right.
So I don't know. They could take it anywhere and it could go nowhere. As much of a non-answer as that may be, I don't know.
If there's more seasons, I'm thinking maybe 2 more left. I don't.
You know what?
More
Here's
than
the
2.
thing about that. They could end off Arrow in this last season and still use him in other shows. Because think about it, they still have
That's
The
true.
Flash.
Right.
They still have Legends of Tomorrow. And I just learned today, excellent segue once again, they have a Black Lightning series in the works. Greg Berlanti, the guy that produces and creates The Flash and Arrow and all those other shows.
Wow.
He wants to make Black Lightning now, which I think is an odd choice, considering the fact that there's a lot more. I had to sit up there and be like, who the hell is Black Lightning again? I'm like,
from the Super Friends, from the
he was in Super Friends,
guy?
yeah, that bloke. And it's like, I think that you guys could have gotten away with Static, not Static Shock. Side note, not Static Shock. That was the name of the show. Static.
Okay.
He's a character that I still know, like, kids would freaking be like, oh, yeah. Kids that are, like, in college and, like, in the real world now, they'll be like, I totally know who that character is. Static, Virgil Hawkins.
Static Shock was the cartoon, right? But even they would identify more with Static because even Black Lightning, I watched it as a kid, but he was like a group character. There was never really a story on him, not that I knew anyway from when I watched it on TV. That would be tough, man.
He was, as far as I knew, watching the Super Friends on Cartoon Network when I was a kid in like the early 2000s, late 90s. He was the token. That's all he was.
Yeah.
He was there for representation, and aside from that, he had no development whatsoever. So to use that particular character, I know there's been stuff added to him over the comic runs over the years, but I feel like you had a lot more. You could garner a much wider audience and people who recognize your character if you went with Static. That's just my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong. CW, you could tell me to shut the hell up. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I agree
That's
with you.
just my take on it. So,
if you're going to go with Black Lightning, I always say, man, sometimes they're best to be like co-stars. Bring them in with somebody and give them their own series because that can implode real fast.
Yeah. And the thing about that is this might be what we want in disguise because we are always talking about using the lesser-known characters.
Right.
We are very much proponents of using more of the indie side stream, like, not side stream, I don't know if that's even a phrase, but like the lesser used properties that are really fascinating, that have really great arcs and character stories. But
Iron Fist?
Yeah, like Iron
Yeah,
Fist is
but
about to get a lot more popular. Yeah,
see,
for
Iron
sure.
Fist and Luke
Segue
Cage, they
again.
have a solid story though. You understand? They have a story. It's not like Black Lightning where I'm still scratching my head
Yeah,
trying to
what was his origin again? How did he get his
I'm trying to
powers?
figure it out.
Like Mr. Terrific, he's like a super genius and he's a
Right.
decathlon, whatever, super athlete. But I'm like, what? How did that? What was Black Lightning's deal? I don't even remember. So, but yeah, like Iron Fist, Seven. Just
Dun dun
nice
dun
one.
dun 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 dun. Segue.
Oh man.
So
Picture
we
up.
did get, yeah, so a little bit of, I guess, production comic book slash television series news. A new still frame came out of the upcoming Iron Fist, Marvel's Iron Fist. It's going to be over on Netflix, which is the Leviathan that it is. I chose that particular image. It's a cool shot just because it shows him hurt. He's like bleeding and he's like sitting on a sidewalk. It really gives you a sense of how vulnerable a lot of these characters are and what's going to be the defenders: Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Daredevil. Those of you who
Right.
saw Daredevil, you saw this boy put hands on people, but
Right.
in con, you also saw his body get torn to shreds at certain
Right.
points.
I
He
think
got
that
his ass beat at
good
certain
part
points
of
in
the
that
show.
series.
That's what I loved about the show. It wasn't like he was made out of iron. You understand? He could
Yeah,
be.
yeah. And even Luke Cage, think about what happened to him in Jessica Jones. Remember when he receives like that internal damage and they
Right.
have to go in through his eye? Luke Cage, as strong as he is, and vulnerability is a great power, but what they don't take into consideration is internal damage. His organs are still normal. So if you give him internal injuries,
Right.
it's a lot harder for him to recover from that. They had to sit up there and give him the injection through the eyeball, which is the most cringiest moment in Jessica Jones, I feel.
Wow.
It's like he's a lot harder to heal. And then you have Danny Rand, Iron Fist. He can still be hurt. Yes, he can use chi to, like, alleviate poisons and heal himself quicker, but he can still be harmed. Like, I think that just makes them so much more accessible and so
Yeah.
much more fun. There's a rich, like, risk when it comes to seeing these characters in battle and doing their thing. So the Defenders is going to be great for that, I think.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. So
That's interesting. And how come they don't have any series just based on villains?
I don't know. I don't say if they don't have any. It's just that I don't know of any that are really all that popping right now.
Gotcha.
Like some of the story ideas that I have, they're predominantly about villains. There's one in particular that I'm writing that's strictly about a failed villain who was like basically just, ejected from his caste, his clan, and banished to Earth. And it's basically him trying to still be a villain and gain his way back into, some sense of glory. But now that he's a human, he has to function within the parameters of human society. So he's trying to navigate that.
Right.
But I don't know. There needs to be like more villain-centric shows and movies, I think. Suicide Squad tried to do it,
Right.
but I think Will Smith and like a lot of the other factors that were involved in that movie made it so it was just,
A hero.
they're the really, really, really edgy superheroes
Right.
at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah. But straight up villains that do things where you're just like, holy crap, that was not a nice thing that you just did at all.
You bad
Like,
guy, you'll.
that was not cool, man. We need some more of that. That'd be really cool right about now.
In a quick flash news, we've got Warner Brothers denies Harry Potter and the Crusade Child movie rumors. So they're saying that it's not going to happen.
Man,
But-
why are we not surprised about that? They're always. I feel like every couple months they'll threaten to make another Harry Potter movie. It's not. I'm like, come on, dude. I get it. We already have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them coming out. That's perfectly fine. It looks like it's gonna be great. Like, why do you keep needing to add Daniel Radcliffe may come back for an older Harry Potter movie? I'm like,
You think they're just doing it for trying to bait people to see the reaction they get?
yeah, probably. It's bait. That's what we do nowadays. With social media, it makes it so easy to do that crap. And another addition to that, in the rumor mill, what we can call it, I don't know if you have that picture that I put for that with Glenn from Walking Dead 7.
I do not have Glenn.
You should have it up there. At any rate, moving into it, there's a rumor that came out that Glenn, Steve Yuan is his name. He plays Glenn on Walking Dead. There's a rumor that came out that he is, I guess, being eyed for the role of Dick Grayson aka Nightwing, which I personally think that
Wow.
could be pretty cool. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, is that the good way to go? Is that the best way to go for his character?
I don't know.
Because no, think about it. Like in the films, we already know that Batman has gone up to Jason Todd at this point,
Right.
which means that Dick Grayson has already come and gone as Robin. He's now Nightwing. So if you're going to introduce you on in this film, like in this film franchise, as Nightwing already, looks wise, I think he could totally pull it off. He's got the hair, he's got the build for it, he's got the acting prowess. I feel some people may defer, whatever, but you already know there's going to be those people. When he's Asian, Dick Grayson was blah, 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 blah. I don't know. It's part of that whole trend. And the other part of me is kind of like, yeah, is it true to the character? His race isn't integral to his character at all. But is this being done because of out of the benefit of the character, or is it done just to be like diversity for its own sake? You know, like is it just adding in an Asian character just so we can spice things up? In that case, it doesn't really matter. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Also,
that's a tough one.
Adam Driver, they were talking about rumors of him playing.
Oh
that
yeah,
thing.
well he's Kylo Ren, and I'm sorry, he just doesn't.
No, they want
But I
him to
think-
play? Nah.
Yeah, they were talking about it. I don't.
I wouldn't do
I'm
that.
sorry. And I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on why I think that is because
Yeah, I wouldn't
it's
go.
me.
I would.
It's me. Yeah, but I'd take a pass on that one.
I mean, yeah. I hear you. Why are you leaving that alone?
I'm not gonna even jump into the reasons why I think that is. I think you show Kylo Ren and then put him in the Nightwing mask, you'll be like, just no. You stole Nightwing's outfit. There you go. Does that?
No.
No.
That,
And there's plenty of other people I know that'll be like on the same boat where it's just like, no, I don't see him.
Right.
This is Nightwing at all.
So what's the take on let's see, what is this guy? Hannibal Burgess is going to play a gym teacher in Spider-Man. So they're trying to pack this with as many known faces as possible. So I'm a little nervous now because when they start peppering like social media girls, like nothing against Zendaya, beautiful, talented, but they're just trying to just chock full it with as many faces that you can see. I start worrying about the script.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I hate when they do that in movies. They just put a bunch of darn, fluff it up, and then it sucks. If the script is good enough, you can go with a bunch of no-name actors, and if they're good actors, you can pull the movie off. You don't need to fluff it up. I hate.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine taking people that are fairly known, but I feel like we've gotten more cast info on Spider-Man Homecoming than any other information on any other movie that's coming out in the Marvel camp. No, what was the last word that we got on the Black Panther movie?
Nothing.
None. That's actually a good thing in my eyes. I'm glad.
That's a good thing.
I'm glad about that.
The thing with Spider-Man, for me, the last few have been garbage. So it's like they're doing anything in their power to get this thing out in the public so it doesn't flop and bomb again, man.
They really do that. They do want to make sure that it doesn't flop. I don't think it will anyway because it's friggin' Spider-Man. And I beg to differ, Charles. I think that Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 were pretty okay. People didn't like Andrew Garfield, but that's okay because I didn't
I'm
like
going to tell you
Tobey
why I
Maguire.
don't like it. I'm going to tell you my reason. When I saw Lily, I don't walk out on many movies, but when I saw Spider-Man get shot, that's when I had a problem. Because I always bring this up. I believe it was the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
I think there was a Green Goblin made this it was like a makeshift machine gun, right?
Yeah.
In a comic book. And it didn't shoot in a straight pattern. It shot sporadically all over the place. And he tried to hit, I'm saying Batman. I'm trying to hit Spider-Man with that thing. And he couldn't hit him with none of that stuff. So you mean to tell me he's going to take a shot from a 9mm? Come on, man. You don't shoot Spider-Man with no freaking 9mm pistol. Come on, dude.
Yeah, man. It was.
And he's bleeding on top of it. Takes his mask. Come on, man. They ruined Spider-Man with that stuff, dude. I
Yeah.
nearly walked. Spider-Man was the reason why I got into the comic book industry, and that movie to me was total garbage, man. They
Wow.
ruined. I'm saying they ruined Spider-Man with that. They almost ruined the franchise with that crap.
Mm.
Getting shot with a 9mm, and
Wow.
and Green Goblin couldn't shoot him with a man. Get out of here, man. That
Randomized
yeah.
machine gun. Yeah. That
And it
I
was
got nothing
spitting
for that one.
bullets. It was spitting bullets everywhere, and he couldn't hit him for anything, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's minor things that they do in these movies that really just, you know, kind of. We're in the comics, so we know the whole, the ins and outs, and it's just minor little things just can dive bomb a whole flick, man.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, man. I nearly
It's all right,
cried.
man. It's all right. Take a sip of water. It's gonna be okay.
And now we're gonna talk about Stranger Things.
Good.
So I binged watched that entire first season of Stranger Things this weekend. Good show. Again, solidly paced, structured really well. Nothing is introduced that doesn't serve a purpose later on or at some point in the series. It's kind of a peculiar show, I guess, hence the name Stranger Things, in that there's a lot of 80s pop culture references in it. They make references to The Thing. Oh my God, there's so many I can't even think of one. They make references to Stand By Me.
Wow.
Is that the one with the kids walking
Yeah.
down the rail? Yeah. I already said The Thing. There was like references to, Dungeons and Dragons, which was huge in the 80s. They make all these different little references to the timeline. And it was like, what you can tell, the Duffer Brothers, the guys who created and directed most of the episodes, you can tell that was like the time in their lives that they remember the most and that they gravitate to. And it wasn't the most original thing ever. There's like references to E.T., there's a lot of there's a heavy Stephen King like tone to it.
Mm-hmm.
And where it goes, it's fun. It's accessible for most people, I'd say. Not particularly, when it comes to like some of the plot twists, anyone who's like watched a solid sci-fi series or is like halfway, competent when it comes to their sci-fi lore and stuff like that, you can see where the show's going and what's going to happen next. But it's fine because it's still fun to watch. And when it comes to little kids, because the majority, say a fair chunk of the main cast are like little kids, that can be a really bad thing for movies and shows. But these kids, it's like they have the same type of vibe and the acting prowess that you saw with the kids in The Sandlot, for example.
Okay.
Where they're actually likable,
Right.
and they actually have personalities.
So like the Goonies. Remember the Goonies?
That was another one, the Goonies. That's like totally a reference that they make in that one. The Goonies, they're in there. You can make a game out of like picking out which 80s references that they make.
Wow.
But yeah, Stranger Things, definitely recommend checking it out.
Okay.
It did just get announced that it's going to have a season 2, so that's going to be in the works. And just by how it ends, you totally know where they're going to pick off, where they're going to pick up from in the next season. They left just enough seeds to where you can be like, yep, this is going to be the focus in season 2. Let's get it. So Stranger Things, good stuff. Definitely give it like an 8 out of 10.
I've heard good things about that. So
Yeah, check it out, guys. Totally.
All right.
oh, guys, very quickly, I got to play the Battlefield beta.
Oh yeah.
Overall, it wasn't bad. EA still needs to work their servers. They're probably one of the biggest video game companies out there, and their servers always suck. So EA, fix your servers. It's not their first rodeo. So some of the quirks that are in the game, some of the stuff that, weapons definitely need to be balanced out. What I noticed is I can use a sniper rifle. I can shoot someone not across the map, but I can shoot someone from a very long distance. And then once you get up on somebody, it's like you can't put them down. You know what I mean? So they definitely have to balance out the weapons in the game. But the maps are massive. I mean, you're using tanks, airplanes, and any other darn thing. And the graphics could be, I think, a little bit better, especially for next gen. But overall, they're not bad. So, I don't know. Not a bad game. People were saying, oh, it's a beta. But one thing I've experienced playing betas, this game is coming out October 21st. So that game is finished as far as I'm concerned. So any issues they're going to have, they might do an update or something, but it's pretty much a go. I don't see what they can do to really fix anything right now because it's October 21st. The game is finished. So overall,
Yeah, that's kind of a thing. I feel like for a lot of these games that are coming out right now, the mainstays. I just saw the. I guess it's not the beta, but it was like a playable demo of the next Resident Evil game. It was like, oh, it's done. The game is done, and they give you that little disclaimer before, and it's like, hey, this doesn't necessarily reflect the
Yep.
finished product. I'm like, you finished the game, dude. Just don't dick me about, please. I know this game is finished. It looks clean. It's so pristine. Everything worked fine. Like, ugh, can't wait for that one. And it's such a unique beast now because I feel like Capcom, they knew that the Resident Evil franchise needed to be fixed. It was no longer Resident Evil franchise. How it started, it became an action series,
yeah.
and they just completely just like scraped it down to just back to its roots, and then they took it one step further and made it first person,
hmm
which I feel that that's right on par with how like a lot of these like new age game when it comes to the horror genre, especially in video games,
Right.
everything is first person now.
Person.
So they're right on, like they're on the pulse, I guess you could say, of like the gaming community when it comes to taking what's, the end thing right now and adapting it and taking it to something that they already know will be like, will have fans flipping out.
This one was third person.
Beg your pardon?
The original Resident Evil was the third person shooter.
It's third person, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is something that they've never even done before when it comes to the other installments of their franchise. A first person Resident Evil game? Like, are you freaking serious?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Don't quote me on this, but this is going back years. Remember when you would get like with the old. Now this is what I heard. I never tried it, but this is what I heard through the grapevine. There's old Xbox demos. They would give you the disc and the magazine, and they would have the demos on the disc.
I don't know. They have the PlayStation too.
Yeah, and the thing is, they would give you that demo, but I heard some people figured out how to unlock the whole game. The whole game was actually on that freaking disc. Yeah, they said it was in there, and some people figured out how to get that thing off there. It was just they had it locked. So I don't know how true that is, but I read that. I think I saw it on the internet actually. That's why
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that rumor back in the day.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can unlock the whole game, and none of my friends
knew how to do
we
it.
sat down for weeks and tried it. We used our Game Sharks. None of us could like figure that out, and eventually we're just like, "This is BS. This is
Yeah.
crap."
Probably
They're
not
trolling
true.
us. They're trolling us. But I'll look into it.
Yeah,
Maybe
look into that one. I heard that.
I have
years
my doubts.
And we
Yeah.
never say this, but we got to say it. If you love us, subscribe, leave comments, anything you want us to talk about, spend more time on within the geekdom of our conversations, please let us know. And we will do so. That's important.
Yep.
So, did you guys finally decide which game system I should buy? Is it Sony or is it Xbox? I'm leaving it up to you guys to figure out.
Well, do you want to play video games?
Yeah.
Because
You
if
wanna
you do, get a freaking PlayStation because
Yeah.
Xbox has no game.
Xbox. They're right now really. I mean, for the Xbox
You're stuttering, you're stalling, Charles. You're stalling.
No, seriously. They're saving it for the holiday rush. So they got a ton of stuff coming out. But
Okay.
I've supported Xbox through good, thick, and thin. But I
Through
wouldn't
space.
hesitate getting a PlayStation, honestly, because the Xbox is
man.
really just leaning on me hard right now,
I
man.
already got
man.
mine. If nothing else, what I was already going to get a PlayStation. What made me double down
Right.
and be like, you need to get committed and like save some extra cash.
Uh-huh.
And it was Final Fantasy 15. Like that game. I'm sorry, let me take that back. Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3. Those are the two games that I'm just like, I'm buying this damn system. I don't care if I have to reduce myself to robbing people. I will adopt that cliche if I can get these two freaking games. I'm willing to go that far. You don't
Wow.
understand. Okay.
Everything for those two.
Oh yeah, man. Those are it for me, man. Like Final Fantasy 15. This is the game we've been waiting for this 11 years. Think about that. 11 years, dude. Over a decade, and it's still not coming out. We're not getting it until I want to say like November 29th, which is right after my birthday. Totally hyped. Cannot wait. Absolutely. PlayStation, we win. And then you have like the PC Master Race people that are like, well, I'm like, you guys have the quality, but when it comes to like that family aura, that like sense of weeness, PlayStation, Sony, all day, every day.
My only gripe with the PlayStation for me, and this is why I stopped playing it, their controllers were just way too small. I got big hands, and they're very narrow for me. So my hands could only take like an hour. When I game,
Really, it's the
yeah,
opposite with those Xbox controllers. Dude, like my hands aren't,
yeah,
you know,
I got
weird. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just never got used to that clunky. I felt like I had to play like this.
it was like a frisbee. My favorite
Yeah,
Xbox controller was that original one. It's about the size of a dinner plate. But
yeah,
like
man.
my hands are like I got basketball player hands, so
I had to freaking know. I'm like, I was pissed off. I was trying to like navigate, using it like it was a freaking keyboard, like computer keyboard
dude.
with this. So I couldn't rock with that controller, man, at all.
And
Could not rock
folks,
with it. I
what
had to
you're
make the smart.
witnessing for the first time ever is called Eclecticka problem.
Okay.
Look
Oh,
at.
is that what that was just now? Eclectic problems?
Yeah.
Hands. Jazz hands.
Oh man. All right, folks. At some point before the end of this season, they will make a firm decision on which way I should go with that. All right. Thank you, Drew, on the West Coast. Thank you, Charles, on the East Coast. And I am somewhere in cyberspace. And we'll see you again next. Will it be next week or the week after next week? Are we doing next week? There's a lot going on.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. I guess if not next week, then the week after that.
But normally you'll see us Sundays live, 8:30 p.m. And also Comic-Con news. There's a lot of information, a lot of people coming out. But there are also a lot of other cons, and we're gonna start highlighting that in the weeks to come too, so you guys are aware that there are other options, there are places to go and great things. And we'll be there. Eclecticka. Take care.
I think I'm gonna very quickly. I think I'm gonna make my debut back at probably WinterCon.
Oh
That's
yes.
I think Vex Comics will make its debut back at WinterCon. That's what we're looking into.
And that's
That's
February, right?
Yeah, around that time. I'll get the exact dates for next week's show for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See you guys.